Good afternoon, I'm back and in action and finishing up the Model O reviews. I have done the Model O wireless and I've done the 61 key and the TKL individually, and now we're finally moving on to the one that's on here in front of you, the 104 key, which has a couple of subtle differences from its other brethren, so I thought I would show you. Now, when I started these reviews, I actually whipped out the kitchen scale because I felt like this 61 key and the TKL were almost identical in weight, and it turns out they actually are identical in weight. So while you're getting physically less keyboard with the 61 key, the amount of materials that have gone into it are identical to the TKL, which I'm kind of okay with because they're asking the same price point. So you're getting the same amount of materials even though you're getting physically less keyboard. The 104 key, however, is a little bit heavier. It's well over 900 grams, at least if you're going to believe my very dodgy kitchen scale, and these things normally are quite dodgy. I don't find them to be very accurate because when I weighed my mice, it was between anything from 60 to 75 grams, and I know that it's 67 grams for the old Model O wireless. So yeah, let's take a ballpark figure on that of about 10 grams either way, but these are very similar in weight and very similar in setup. Both of them have removable cables, but that's not the case with the 104. It's actually built in over here. There's some cool channeling underneath, so you can have it come out either side of your keyboard, which is quite nice, or out the center. So it's going to work around your desk space quite nicely. But obviously, being a long boy and me being a TKL guy, this is my preferred size over here. This is somewhat intrusive, obviously. I started hitting it with my mouse when I was gaming, so it doesn't have the best desk space being a full-size keyboard. Obviously my preference being considered with that. But as far as using it goes, it felt identical. They're using the exact same keycaps, exact same key sets. Which brings me to an interesting point that I only figured out once I had actually started using this without my headphones on. Over to my left over here, I have my old daily driver, my Cooler Master MK730, almost said CK, MK730. It's a really good 10 keyless, and I'm a big fan of Cooler Master, if you weren't already aware. I really like their products and stuff, and I find them to be quite good bang for buck. And this has seen some usage, as you can see by my Control and S keys, which I might smash continuously while I'm editing for Adobe reasons. Anybody in the crowd that's a designer will know exactly what I'm talking about. But outside of that, when I was typing, I immediately noticed something. Glorious has made note that they lube up their stabilizers and their switches. And I thought, well, what difference is that going to make? Until I had my headphones off. Do you hear that? You hear that? How much more pleasant is that? And that's because of those stabilizers and that lubrication that they put into it. Imagine sitting next to that in the office all day. The keys themselves, how they work, are identical across the board. How they're removable, I mean, removing caps is literally as easy as that. You can literally just pull them. You don't even need the key remover. They do sit back nicely, so it's not going to just bounce off of the keycap or the key itself. So don't worry about that. You can get some pretty cool looking pudding cups for these as well, and they have a number of on their site switches that you can buy, plus a number that are not on their site that you could also buy as well, because the keycap formation that they've used is quite a good default. And from what I've seen, the PCB and the chassis that you're getting from Glorious is already worth the money. The fact that it comes with a full key set and another full set of, well, a full set of caps is actually like really good value. The 104 key and the TKL have the exact same sort of slightly angled layout on their base layout. I think it's what, a 6 degree or something to that effect. It's quite low, but then you can increase it with the foot stands, which will then just take it up to the next level. You can buy a wrist rest for these as well off of Glorious's site, so there's a plethora of extras that you can do, and that's exactly what you get in the box with this. Once again, you get the key puller, the switch puller, you get extra mouse pads or extra pads for the feet on the bottom of the keyboard, so if they ever do come off, which I very highly doubt it would anyway, but if they do, then you've got replacements for those. And the base kit and everything that Glorious has done here is really good. Software, once again, is pretty much exactly the same. It has a mode for the LED though called Kamehameha, which I approve of on so many weeb levels. グランドスパンサーの提供でお送りします。 The macro editor as well is actually pretty damn easy to use. It does look and feel just a little bit clunky. I can only hope that as time goes by, they give us some of that Model O software upgrades so that it gets that look and feel, which was really like a lot improved from where they are right now with these things. But it works. It does work. Everything works fine. And like I say, you're kind of buying into a beta of a product in a lot of ways, because obviously they're going to continuously roll out new and improved switches and caps and add-ons for these keyboards. And that's really nice though, because while it might be one thing today, you could have it being a completely different thing tomorrow. All in all, I really like what Glorious is doing with their products, and they're giving you a lot of flexibility here. It's not a one size fits all. You can have the format you want, and you can have the layout you want, and you can have the switches you want, and you can have the keycaps you want. And it's truly making the PC modular environment shine and taking it to the next level with these keyboards. And there's no brand that's gotten on with this very early. In a lot of cases, you have to build it up from chassis to PCB to keys to the caps themselves, and you can do it, albeit at quite a lot of expense. This is a base platform, is a really good place to build off of. Anywho, that is all I have for you in this review. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the flip side. Yeah, so my naughty boy doesn't want to stop coming for treats and for loves, because he had to have a luckily benign tumor cut out of his leg on the front left there. You might be able to see it. So shame, he's Sputniking for the time being. So yeah, my naughty boy, you're going to be just fine, yes. And he won't leave me alone. And so I'm really struggling to film. Benji, please go lie down on your bed, my naughty boy, please.